Hi, my name is Caitlin Parker. I'm a student in Dr. Strange's EDM 310 class at the University of South Alabama. During my semester in EDM 310, I've learned many new types of technology that I can use in my future classroom, such as a smartboard, smart tables, and how to use a Mac computer. EDM 310 has helped me to become better with technology. I was already pretty good with different types of technology before EDM 310, but now I know even more and can incorporate those into my future classroom. What have I learned from EDM 310? I've learned many valuable things in EDM 310. I've learned how to create a green screen movie, how to use a Mac computer and an iPad. I learned how to do the basic functions on a smartboard. I learned how to create an iBook, a Prezi. I learned how to create a podcast, a book trailer for a children's book. I use Blogger, Google Hangouts, Google Drive, and also learned what HTML codes were and alt and title modifiers and how to use them in my blogs. I also learned in EDM 310 what project-based learning is and how beneficial it is when teaching students. I learned that project-based learning is not a way to show what a student has achieved from a certain subject, but it instead allows the student to learn the subject through the project. Project-based learning is also a learning process for educators because projects need to be modified to fit the students. Sometimes a project you think is great doesn't always work out for that particular set of students. I also learned that project-based learning can be a great way to engage students and to keep them interested in learning. And that project-based learning can be used at many subjects and grade levels. It can be used K through 12 and up. It's great for every age. I learned that technology can be incorporated into teaching in many different ways, and that we need to keep our students interested and curious and wanting to learn. I also learned that even elementary students blog, use iPads, Skype, and make podcasts, and this really surprised me because when I was in elementary school, we just did basic tools on a desktop computer that was in the computer lab. We didn't have this much technology in our classroom. The most exciting thing that we had was an overhead projector, and we thought that was just the coolest thing. So technology is growing, and it is being used more and more in classrooms, and I think that it's great because it helps students learn in a new way. I also learned that it's all right to make mistakes, and that mistakes are part of the learning process, and that until we begin teaching in our own classroom, we still don't know everything that we need to know. And it's important to watch how we write on our blogs, emails, or anything that's on the internet that others can access and see. Because people all over the world are going to be viewing this, and they can just Google it and find it. So it's very important how you write and you speak. I learned how fast technology is growing in the schools. More and more is being incorporated into classrooms every year. Many schools are even giving students their own laptops and iPads for each student to have for this whole year. And I think that's great because not every student can afford that, so that gives them access to the tools that they need. I still have questions about how to grade and evaluate my students using project-based learning when I'm not using tests to evaluate them. Dr. Strange doesn't believe in tests and grades, so I just want to know more about how to grade my students at the end of the semester or throughout the semester if we're only doing project-based learning. I still have questions about making lesson plans and incorporating project-based learning into those lesson plans and teaching. And I want to make a web page for my future classroom, and I want to know how to make that web page. I also still want to know how to keep my students away from websites and ads that they should not visit or see when they're on the internet. We did learn about iCurio and Discovery Ed, and those are both great ways to help moderate what your students see when visiting the internet, but I'd still like to know other ways to do that. And I want to know more ways to keep my students on topic and doing what they should be doing. In my future classroom, I want to incorporate the use of blogging, project-based learning, and podcasts. I think that elementary students can benefit from these in their classroom. I believe this will help keep them interested and engaged in their learning environment. I'm excited to use what I've learned in EDM 310 in my future classroom. Thank you, Dr. Strange.